Malaysian armored personnel carriers, I can't compliment these guys enough. We needed more guns, so we took the cooks and the supply clerks and everybody else, and we put them on 5-ton and deuce-and-a-half vehicles, 2.5-ton vehicles behind us, and rolled out into the city streets with just as many guns as we could. We drove down a little narrow road, getting close to the Durant crash site, and my vehicle came under an intense ambush. In the process, we were hit by rocket-propelled grenades and gunfire, and I backed out of the ambush. And we started to drive our way around the city, and as we were driving around the city to come into the crash site from the backside of the city, we linked up with a bunch of other Rangers from the Humvees that were trying to make their way back to the base. But quite frankly, the vehicles were so shot up that they couldn't even move anymore. They were being pushed by some of the large trucks. So we stopped what we were doing, grabbed all of the dead and the wounded off of those vehicles, put them on our Humvees, drove them back to the base, got more fuel, got more ammunition, got ready to go back out to get to the Durant crash site. But at this point, our commander, the task force commander, Major General William Garrison, realized we can't keep putting these Humvees in the city streets. They're getting shot to pieces. And these are the light-skinned Humvees. They didn't have armor back in those days. So we asked the United Nations if they would help us, and the United Nations, a couple of countries from the United Nations showed up with armor and tanks. The Malaysians came with their armored personnel carriers, and the Pakistanis came with a couple of tanks, and they met us all at our base at about 11 o'clock that night. We all drove back out there together. Me and my men stayed on the same Humvees. 3 of the 4 tires shot flat underneath us and stayed there until 9 o'clock the next morning, fighting back and forth and losing men all night long until the rest of the guys that were out there in the city streets could get on those vehicles and we can drive them back out of the city streets. We became the bullet magnets. If you wanted to kill Americans, come to the streets where all of the Humvees are and shoot at the Humvees, which is basically what happened all night long. The Malaysian armored personnel carriers, I can't compliment these guys enough for their courage. They basically kept a driver and a gunner in those vehicles and then handed the rest of it over to us and said, we'll go wherever you ask us to go. We'll do whatever you ask us to do tonight. We're here to help out. The Pakistanis in their tanks, not so much. They rolled in there, got shot at a time or two, and rolled right back out of there and left the Humvees and these Malaysian APCs in the city streets. So we had so many dead and wounded.